Well, hello, 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 everybody. It is your girl, Eliza Regina. I want to quickly make a quick video because if you watched the last video about my full circle moment of when I realized why I've always tried to make it a point not to be a bother or a nuisance to anyone, right? So, yeah, I feel like I have I've had a setback. Like, I've had a healing setback from the situation with the man, with a guy, the penis holder, as I call them, who is responsible for my mother having me. Okay. If y'all recall, we was at my best friend's aunt's funeral, and he was there, and he was talking to me about what a great friend he is to his best friend, and how he shows up for his best friend, and he takes his best friend to work, and wherever his best friend needs to go, he takes them. You've never showed up for me like that. And then as I'm introducing him to my best friend, he makes the comment when I said, "This is done, my dad." He says, "Oh, am I?" Which he's been doing that my entire life, telling people that I'm not his daughter. And I thought I had got myself healed from actually giving a about him or his thought process about me. But I don't know if it's because I was already kind of in the emotional state I was at a funeral of someone who I really knew. And or if truly I had not been healed. Y'all, this has bothered me. Um, I haven't cried about it, but it has extremely bothered me because it brought up that old feeling that I had of some things he did to me in my childhood, which I talked about in another video. And so today I was sitting on the couch. I was supposed to get up and did a whole bunch of stuff today, but I just couldn't. Like my mind was just replaying that. I'm a Virgo, so we replay a lot of stuff. But I was just replaying what he said, replaying the things that he's done and said previously, and how he ignores me when I was calling him or texting him. He wouldn't answer my phone call, and he would never text me back. So I stopped. So I thought I was getting myself healed from that, but I'm not because it's still bothering me. And so I'm sitting on the couch, and my middle kid, who is 19, she comes in and she sees me sitting on the couch, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I was like, I'm just in a mood. And she's like, "What's wrong?" And I said to her, I said, "I don't even know why I'm giving this much energy, but I'm still processing and bufungled about the whole thing with Dunn, right?" And so she says to me, she said, "I totally understand how you feel. I feel the same way, about her dad, who was my ex-husband of 20 years." And so we're talking, and I say to her, I said, "I don't even know why I feel like this." And she made a very great point when she said, she's only 19. She said it makes a lot of sense because you're trying to figure out why is he still doing this as old as he is. He's in his 70s and you're almost 50, and you're just trying to figure out why he doesn't act like a grown up. And I was like, "Yeah, because I don't find this shit funny." And she said, "It's not funny." She said, "And the fact that he keeps denying you when he has 100 billion kids is irritating to you." And it is. And I don't know why. Why should it even matter? He's never been in my life, but for some reason, this is bothering me. And when she said, because he's his 70, he shouldn't be acting like this. I don't know if that's the whole reason, But that is a reason, like, you're old. And what do they say? With age does not bring wisdom. I'm dealing with an old fool. But then she said something else. She said, and the fact that he knows this bothers you and he doesn't care is what's really bothering. And I think she might be right. I'm just glad I go to counseling tomorrow. Maybe we can figure it out because he does not deserve that kind of energy from me. Um, I was sitting on the pew minding my own business. He tapped me on the shoulder to let me know he was in the building, right? So I don't know why I'm giving it this much energy. I don't want to give it this much energy. He doesn't deserve my energy, but here we are. I'm still trying to process this. And this is what, 2 weeks later, I think? I'm just, this is where I'm at. And this is what I need to realize I'm never going to get. Like I tell my kids, you're never going to get what you want from your dad because he's incapable. I say to my daughter, I said, I just don't understand why people just can't be normal and we are allowed to have normal relationships with them. And she looked at me and I said, I don't have a normal relationship with two people I should be able to have a normal relationship with because of their behavior. It's not because of mine. I'm open to having a genuine relationship. But what I'm not open to is fakeness, bullshit, gaslighting, projecting. You trying to tell me that my feelings aren't valid, or when I'm expressing my feelings, you don't acknowledge my feelings. That's the shit I'm not gonna put up with. And that's the shit that one of them tries to give me. My dad or the donor, he not in that category. But again, I'm not gonna put up with his bullshit. So I don't know. It leaves a piece of you that's not closed. And I don't care what anyone says when they say I didn't grow up with a dad and I'm okay. You're not okay. You're not okay because it leaves you with self doubt. It leaves you feeling like you are not enough. And it puts you in a crazy headspace sometimes. It will make you, I know as a woman, to put up with things from men that your healed self would never put up with because you are lacking that emotional connection to the opposite sex where you know your worth to the opposite sex, if that makes sense. So when people say that they're okay, they didn't grow up with their dad and all that shit, you're not. You're lying. You're not okay. Because nothing's okay about that. Because if we were only supposed to have one parent, it wouldn't take two people to make us. So that means that a male and female made you, therefore you need that mother and father interaction in your life because they serve purposes to bring you and make you this whole human. And when you don't have that, yeah, you still a human, but are you completely whole? You're not, because I have pieces of me that's missing because he didn't want to be a parent. He wanted to do the things that he did with a 16-year-old, and he was like 20 or 21 or something. But you didn't want the responsibility. And that's pretty sickening, all in itself. Why couldn't you find a woman your age? But that's another topic that I will be hitting later. So I am I'm hoping that the counseling I go to tomorrow will help me to get these feelings processed and I can work on getting rid of these feelings because I don't like it. I thought I was okay, but it was like in that moment when he was sitting there, matter of factly telling me this shit, all I could remember was how he would come to my grandmother's house when I was there, his mother, and he wouldn't even fucking acknowledge me. Like he literally told this woman, "Oh, that's just Regina." I was a little girl. I might have been 5, 4 or 5. And she says, "Regina, your daughter?" And he said to her, "What did I told you about that?" As he ushered her out the front door. What kind of fuck shit is that to say in front of a child? And it was like every time he would come over there, he knew I was there. He knew I would be there. I would be there on Sundays. I would go to church with his mother. So he knew I was there. And now as I'm processing this shit and remembering all this stuff, I feel like he stopped by on purpose to fuck with me. I could be wrong, but those are how I feel now, knowing what I know and how he acts. I feel like he was coming on purpose just to, I don't know. I know it left me feeling some type of way. And even as an almost 50-year-old, those feelings being brought up was really messed up. Because I thought I had processed that stuff, got that stuff out of my system, and that I was okay. I'm not okay. And the fact that when my kid came in the house, she could see that something was wrong. I don't like that either. I don't need my children worrying about my mental health. I need to be worried about their mental health. But in my household, the dynamics of mother and child flip flop. Sometimes I'm my middle child's child, and she mothers me the way I need to be mothered, that I was never mothered, if that makes sense. So basically, I gave birth to a child who is the mother I always wanted. She's very affectionate, very loving, very nurturing. She listens to me. She understands me. She validates my feelings. So, and that's a crazy dynamics because she's my child, but she mothers me. And that's another thing that I'm working on in my growth, in my healing, is the not having the parents that I needed for me. Not having the parents who wanted to be my parents, who wanted to understand me as not only as their child, but another human being. Even now as an adult, my they don't know me. It's not because I don't share or wouldn't share. When you don't show interest, why would I? So when I say that I'm dealing with a lot of childhood baggage that I thought I had grown from, and having that interaction with him has brought a lot more shit to the front that I wasn't absolutely ready for. But here we are because I need this out of my system. I need to be healed from this. Because no matter what has happened between us, I will always take accountability of the wrong that I did. But I haven't done any wrong to them because, for the simple fact, I never asked to be here. Never asked for the people who are my parents to be my parents because none of us have. So the fact that you had me, you should be filling up my cups when I was younger, and you should still be somewhat filling up certain cups that have emotions that are tagged with you in mind. You should be filling those cups, right? Because you're the parent, I'm the child, no matter how old I am. I'm just I guess this is my last thought with Eliza. It's apple juice. A nail I always miss. The last thought I can only come up with is this. You might think that you are healed from some stuff, but then something triggers you. When it triggers you, always know it's not you. A lot of times, we are dealing with a lot of people who don't like themselves. And them not liking themselves will make them treat you a certain type of way. And it doesn't matter if they're your parent, a sibling, a friend, whatever. When people don't like themselves, we're not even talking about love. We talking about the bare minimum of just liking themselves. You get low vibrational behavior from them. So I guess I'm gonna sign off because it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. But I have counseling tomorrow, and I guess I'll come back and talk about what happened in counseling about this situation because this has made me feel a certain type of way because I thought I had grown from those feelings about him and I thought I was healed about him. But seeing him and him talking like he's this great person has really done something to me. I can't even lie about it. Like, what the hell? What? You know how to be a decent human being? Anyway, I'm just manifesting that whoever's hearing this, if you're having some issues with your parent, seek help. Find you a good counselor. And if you feel like you've done something to make the relationship the way it is, hold yourself accountable and get the help that you need.